Welcome back. You're part of the head of the class. Unlike all those thousands of other videos on my channel, you are part of the gifted program. That's why you wanted to watch this video. You have the maturity to handle what I'm saying in these videos, and I'm proud. I'm proud to have you be part of it. So let's go ahead and get things going here. As far as I'm tentatively titling this series, Advice to Guys Going to College. By the way, I want to give you a heads up about something. I've had a lot of people say, man, I love these videos, please do more. Well, I've got some good news for you. I already have. Before I started doing them this past week, I did 73. Now, they were under a different name at the time, Self-Help Hacker, but it was the same exact concept. Now I know in hindsight, had I called it, Advice for Guys Going to College, it would probably have been a lot more popular. So what I did, I took an hour and a half of my life, went back and retitled all of those 73 videos. So what I'm telling you now is if you go on my channel and search in there, whatever the title of this is, the Guys Going to College thing, then what's going to happen is you're going to find lots of videos. And we're talking like nearly 80 at the filming of this video. So I just want you to be aware of that because there's a lot more. You don't have to wait for me to make more videos like this. They already exist. Now granted, the tone might be a little bit different, but still it's there for you if you want it. All right, here we go. We're getting to work on this video. I received a comment from a different video. It's called 3 Changes That Happen to Men by Age 35, which one of my better videos, I feel. I think it's very important to watch that. But if you're a guy on his way to college, that's quite a ways from you. But this comment that I received quite recently definitely is in tune with the concept of this Guys Going to College thing. So here's the comment from someone named Sky Rien. And they're basically quoting me in the comment. So keep that in mind, okay? So, quote, when you're younger, you want people to respect you. So you're trying to prove people wrong all the time. When you get my age, you're trying to find out what you agree with people on and common ground, because that builds a relationship and that opens doors and provides better opportunities for you. End quote. By the way, that was my own quote from that video. They're quoting me, so keep that in mind. Now I'm going on to what the person actually said about the quote. So they says, true wisdom here. Thank you for phrasing this so eloquently. As a person going through this maturing growth in real time, it's been helpful to remind myself that this developmental growth is often not a straight line, that the old and new ways of thinking will collide at times. But it's good to know that it's okay to let the older, more emotionally mature self win out, end quote. So I'm very grateful again for that comment there. And so I really just want to, and it's funny because I've made thousands, and when I say thousands of videos, between 2 channels, I think I've made well over 5,000 videos in the last 5 years. And so you can imagine, I don't remember everything I say. I don't rehearse these videos. I'll have a little topic that I'll write down and it's like 5 words, but I'm not rehearsing this stuff. I'm ad-libbing this thing as if we were on a phone call. I know basically if you're watching this video because you're not in college yet, it probably implies you don't remember what that was like, actually having phone conversations instead of text, and I remember when that switch happened. It was when I was in college. I got my first text message and someone said, this is a text message, and I thought, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this. Well, so that kind of tells you right there, if I'm 39, there's a good chance you aren't used to having like phone calls with people and catching up with them on that. Yeah, that would be weird. But these videos are designed that way, very unrehearsed. Just a guy who's 20-something years older than you, just telling you about how life actually is. So I'm going to quote myself again from this video, and I don't remember saying this, but this is what I believe, and I believe it's very helpful to you. Quote, when you're younger, you want people to respect you, so you're trying to prove people wrong all the time. When you get my age, you're trying to find out what you agree with people on and common ground, because that builds a relationship and opens doors and provides better opportunities for you, end quote. So I see this all the time, and I want to, if I can pull it up in time on this video, I'm actually going to go to my other channel because I got this kind of comment in on a video from that recently, and it totally proves this point, that when you're younger, you have what's called more of a high conflict personality. you're more likely to try to prove people wrong because you're insecure, you don't know what your own identity is yet. You're trying to figure out what your belief system is. And remember, I've said multiple times, no one cares about your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter to anyone other than yourself. And it's good to have opinions and beliefs. But to other people, they mean nothing. There's no point in trying to change people's opinion. Now, ultimately, if you communicate well, they may ultimately buy into what you believe. But, and I'm a salesman as a living, keep that in mind, I'm a recruiter. So I know that you can't force someone in or bully someone into or condescendingly talking someone into believing something that they don't already, but you can very easily get them not to respect you and ultimately just reconfirm what they already believe. So, but when you're younger, that tends to be the case. When you're older, you're like, wait, I don't need to argue with anyone. In fact, if I'm having a conversation at the moment it seems like, oh, I triggered them, I accidentally said something that they're wanting to be defensive about, I immediately just shut it down like, oh, wow, yeah, you're probably right. Even though I know they're wrong, it doesn't affect me at all. And I know that. Most things don't affect us is the thing, especially what people say, especially don't change anything. What we believe doesn't change most of things outside of our own brain. Here's the example. So I have another channel. It's called Family Friendly Daddy Blog, mainly talking about DNA test results, cultural perceptions, race, ethnicity, that sort of thing. If you're interested in that at all, feel free to check it out. It may not be your thing, but it is for a lot of people. I've got a couple thousand subscribers on that channel as well. So I made a video about Johnny Cash's wife, his first wife. Her name was Vivian Liberto. And I made a video called, Was Vivian Liberto, Johnny Cash's first wife, black? Well, technically, yes. And I go on to explain that she was an Italian American. And as is the case with my own mom's DNA test, it showed that yeah, there's some African DNA that comes through if you are of Italian descent, typically. If you take a DNA test, you're probably going to find that, more so than if you are just Irish English or whatever. And so ultimately, you're more likely to have Jewish background, Middle Eastern background, and maybe some African. So my whole point of the video was, well, technically, she had African background to some degree, quite negligible, but if you want to say that she was black, technically you could, technically. That's the point of the video. Someone named Super Amanda had said this. She says, are you really equipped to be covering this topic? And she goes on to leave everything beyond the first sentence is very mature. It's actually quite educational. But the fact that she started out, are you really equipped to be covering this topic? That shows her own immaturity. That shows she's totally in this high conflict personality state. She's probably in high school or maybe just started college but doesn't understand yet that the way that you become successful in life is you find common ground and build relationships on that. Instead of competing, we're collaborating constantly. We do not gain people's respect by proving them wrong. We gain people's respect by finding things to agree with them on and not arguing and not debating. So, that was her opening line. So already as an adult, I'm thinking, this kid's got a lot of knowledge and I'm impressed by it. But ultimately, I don't respect this person because ultimately they're insecure. And it's hard for me to respect someone who's insecure and flaunts it around like that. So it's funny because I did respond on that and I said, I'm not equipped, but you are. I gave her that. I'm not equipped. I don't have the answers. And that's a lot of times why I make videos on that channel, is just to have open discussions. I'm not claiming any solid truth on this. We're talking about perceptions. I said that a moment ago. But for her, she took it basically that I'm saying something as fact, which is something we see a lot of times with people who are younger. What they'll do is they will be so tribalistic minded that if you're not in this camp, then you're the enemy, you're the other side. And that's why probably an ongoing video topic that we're going to see in these college videos is talking about the perception of how females are attracted to men. And I ignore all the MGTOW comments because I don't want to I would love to move this channel away from that mentality. I really would like to make this a more mature, real channel, because you can tell when I'm talking to you in these videos, I'm being real. I'm not joking around and trying to be all, have all these little gags in there. I just want to have a real conversation. And I know that I can do that here because these are more mature topics here that we're talking about. But you'll see that a lot of guys that are immature can't handle the fact that all women aren't the same, all girls aren't the same. They're not all selfish and self-centered and all this stuff and just focused on looks. But certain guys, it's almost like your admission to get into this series is to accept that. Accept that, hey, how you dress matters to females. And that's the major extent of where it goes to your physical appearance in attracting a female. But that needs to be its own video. Your comments belong right here.